This video has been brought to you by DataVinci Analytics Agency.
Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video from DataVinci Analytics Agency. I am Aditya Saxena and in this video we will cover UTM parameters in detail and also understand how they work through a practical example where we will see how we can track QR codes. So let's get started. Now what are we going to cover in this video? Firstly, we will see what are the UTM parameters. Then we'll discuss the UTM parameters that are used in GA4. Then we will cover what are the naming conventions that should be kept in mind while adding the UTM parameters. Then we'll see the application of UTM parameters through a practical example using QR code tracking in GA4. Then we'll discuss the steps for creating a QR code and adding UTM parameters to a link. And finally, we will see how to see this data in GA4. Now, what are UTM parameters? So UTM stands for Urchin Tracking Module. It is nothing but snippets of text added to the end of URL to help marketers track the performance of online marketing campaigns across traffic sources and publishing media. These parameters then allow marketers to understand how visitors interact with a website after clicking a link, enabling detailed analytics on the effectiveness of campaigns. Now, we'll discuss about the UTM parameters that are used in GA4. So in GA4 currently, data can be collected for 6 UTM parameters, enhancing our understanding of the performance of various traffic sources and marketing campaigns. These parameters are source, medium, campaign, campaign ID, content, and term. So now we will discuss each and every parameter that is used in GA4 in detail. So first is source, that is UTM underscore source. So it identifies the origin of your traffic, such as a search engine, newsletter, or other referring site. Now, if you are running ads on Google and Bing, using UTM source is equal to Google and UTM source equal to Bing helps differentiate between the traffic coming from each search engine. The GA4 dimension for this is session source. Second is medium. So it specifies the medium through which the traffic arrived, such as email, CPC, that is your cost per click, social, or referral. To track the performance of different marketing mediums, you might use UTM medium equal to email for an email campaign, UTM medium equal to CPC for paid search ads, and UTM medium equal to social for social media posts. The equivalent GA4 dimension would be session medium. Now, the third parameter that is used in GA4 is campaign. So it is used to identify a specific product promotion or a strategic campaign. For example, tracking a winter sale across various channels, you could use UTM campaign equal to winter sale. This allows you to aggregate all the user interactions related to this specific campaign. The equivalent GA4 dimension would be campaign name. The next parameter that is used in GA4 is campaign ID. So this parameter is often used in advanced tracking setups to assign a unique identifier to each campaign. It's particularly useful for integrating with CRM systems or when you need to track campaign across multiple analytics platforms. For example, UTM campaign ID equal to 12345 can directly correlate campaign data in GA with internal reporting tools. The equivalent GA4 dimension is session campaign ID. The next is content. So this parameter is used to differentiate similar content or links within the same ad. If you have two call to action links, that is the CTA links, in the same email, you can use UTM content is equal to header link and UTM content is equal to footer link to test which position garners more clicks. The dimension in GA4 would be ad content. And finally, the parameter that we use is term. So it is mainly used for paid searches to track which keyword terms triggered your ad. These can be used for a Google Ads campaign targeting multiple keywords. You could use UTM term equal to digital marketing to identify traffic coming from those specific search queries. The GA4 dimension would be search term. Now, how do we use these UTM parameters? Let's understand using an example. Now, as promised, we'll see a practical application of UTM parameters, that is QR code tracking. So firstly, we'll discuss what are QR codes. So QR code or quick response codes are two-dimensional barcodes that store information both horizontally and vertically, enabling them to hold a significant amount of data compared to traditional barcodes. These codes have gained widespread use due to their fast readability and large storage capacity. They can encode various types of data from website URLs to contact information and are easily scanned using smartphones, making them a convenient bridge between physical and digital mediums. So now we start with the steps for creating a QR code and adding the UTM parameters. So this is the web page and this is the URL on which I want to add the UTM parameters and then generate a QR code. So I'll just quickly copy the URL and then we need to go to a campaign URL builder. So through the campaign URL builder, we'll be able to add the desired UTM parameters to our URL. So we'll toggle it to GA4 configuration. Now I'll add the selected URL. Now let us take example of a situation where I want to print QR codes on my business card and then I want to share it at a company event. So the traffic that will come after scanning the QR code, I want the source to be named as company event. Then the medium should be business card QR. So you can select the UTM parameters according to your needs. Then the campaign name would be analytics offers and the campaign content would be audit offers. So now as we have added the UTM parameters, you can also add campaign ID and campaign term if you need, and if you want to skip any of the UTM parameter, you can definitely skip that, but as much information as you can add to the URL, it is good. So now this is the URL in which we have added the UTM parameters. But now to generate a QR code, we need to shorten this campaign URL. Now why we need to shorten is because shorter URLs create simpler QR codes that are easier to scan, especially with lower quality cameras or in poor lighting. They also allow easy printing and they can be useful for space constrained materials like business cards. And finally, shorter URLs can lead to quicker loading time of the landing page, enhancing the user experience. So I'll show the difference. So let me first shorten this URL. So now this is our original URL embedded with the UTM parameters, and this is the shortened URL. Now let us go to a QR code generator. So you can select any QR code generator online that is available online. So now if I enter the complete URL, you can see how complex the QR code becomes. Whereas if I use the shortened URL, then the QR code would be much more compact and it is much easier to scan using smartphones. And now you can download this QR code and you can print it on your business cards or catalogs or wherever you need according to your business needs. Now let us see how we will see the traffic when a person clicks on this URL. So I'll copy the shortened URL and let us preview this using the GTM debugger. And using the debug view of GA4, we'll see how GA4 catches the sources and mediums and campaign name and content of the URL. So we'll just preview this. Okay, so the same page has opened. Now let us quickly go to the debug view within the GA4 property. So in this debug view, we'll select the page view. And here in the parameters, we can see our source company event is populating. Then on the medium, business QR, business card QR, we can see the campaign name analytics offers, and we can see the content audit offers. So now we can easily segregate that which traffic is coming through QR code, and we can analyze the performance of the traffic that is coming through the QR code. Now this is about the live debugging part, and if we want to see in the GA4 reports, then we'll go to the reports and we'll have to see traffic acquisition reports for this. So I'll open traffic acquisition. Now here, let me select a relevant date range since it is a new QR code. So if we select the session source, you can see company event over here and the metric session, engage session, average engagement time. So whatever metrics that you need to analyze, you can select over here the dimension for which. I can select session medium. So session mediums are there. Similarly, I can select session campaign, and whatever parameters I have added to the URL, I can see over here. So analytics offers. So this is how you can analyze the performance of different types of traffic coming to your website through traffic acquisition reports within the GA4. Now, there are some naming conventions that should be kept in mind while adding the UTM parameters to your URL. The first such convention is always use lowercase letters. Analytics platforms, including Google Analytics, are case sensitive. And to avoid discrepancies, we should always use lowercase for all UTM parameters. Second, we should avoid spaces. Spaces can break URLs or lead to parsing issues. Use underscores, hyphens, or plus signs instead. Third, we should be as descriptive and as concise as we can be. Now, the parameters should indicate their purpose without being overly long, making it easier to understand the source, medium, and campaign at a glance. We should always use consistent naming for similar campaigns. That is, we should maintain consistency in naming similar campaigns over time to simplify comparison and analysis. For example, use a consistent prefix or suffix for all campaigns of a type, like email newsletter Jan. Then if it is for February, it should be email underscore newsletter underscore Feb, etc. Now, we should specify and stick to a medium taxonomy. That is, we should define a clear set of mediums, example CPC, social, email, and use them consistently to ensure accurate medium segmentation in analytics. We should use meaningful campaign names. We should avoid special characters. And if there is any A/B testing that is going on, then you should always implement a version system for testing. That is, it should include the versions in your UTM parameters to differentiate between test versions, example UTM consent is equal to banner image v1, or if it is of another version, it should be banner image v2. So these are some of the naming conventions that should be kept in mind, and it can lead to a better and accurate analysis from your end. So this was all about the UTM parameters, how to add them correctly to the URLs, how to use them, and for that we saw an example of QR code tracking. And finally, we saw that how to see this data in GA4. See you in the next video. Till then, stay tuned and please like, share, and subscribe our channel for the latest updates.